In the real estate investment business, the industry is supported by two separate yet equally important groups: the sellers, who facilitate the sale and exchange of all types of real estate, and the buyers, who purchase, cultivate, and grow the property value of that real estate. These are their stories.
Here's a standard. I do not close on, first of all, any house that I put on, this is a PSA, any house that I put on the contract must have pictures before the 10-day due diligence period ends. Must. If it does not have pictures on the 9th day, I cancel the contract. I don't care who don't get paid. I do not close on, first of all, any house that I put on, this is a PSA, any house that I put on the contract must have pictures before the 10-day due diligence period ends. Must. If it does not have pictures on the 9th day, I cancel the contract. I don't care who don't get paid. Because one day, it's gonna bite us in the and I'm gonna be out $40, $50, $60, $70,000, and all we're gonna say is, oops.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, moving forward, that needs to be in that checklist.
Yeah.
Right.
Inspection has to be done prior to, that's the whole
Yeah,
point.
but do you want to walk through Hyman?
Somebody needs to walk through.
No, no, saying you want to, right?
No, I don't say necessarily I have to. I'm just saying, think about this from a logical standpoint. We make a contract to commit to buy
No,
something.
because you're saying that you want to walk Konak.
I'm not saying I want to walk it,
Well, I walked Konak.
but we need pictures. You got to get in the habit of taking out that phone and snapping it while you're in there. Here's the reason why. When we make a commitment to buy somebody's property, I don't think we've ever had to not buy somebody's property, have we? Like, just to say, because of our own accord, like, oh, we can't buy it.
Yeah, one or two.
But the point I'm making is you make a contractual agreement to buy somebody's property. We say in 10 days we're going to do our due diligence. What happens is we start to celebrate when we get the signatures, and then we don't do anything after. So we need to go in there and use the 10-day due diligence. Now, the real purpose for the 10-day due diligence is, one, make sure we go into the house and see if there's anything wrong with it that we did not suspect it on when we put on the contract. If there is, we try to renegotiate with that new thing. Second, we want pictures. The reason why we want pictures, because if it's tidy enough or if it's decent enough and we're going to wholesale it, we can already start to put the marketing package together so that we can get closer to the day of closing, we can send it out. Remember, we're not wholesaling a lot of properties. I'm putting out a lot of cash in order to do this the way we're doing it. So we got to have an efficient system so that even, for example, when we, on Inca, I know we decided to go put on the MLS, but before we close Inca, we used the pictures of the house that had clutter in it. We're selling to investors. We're not selling to people that's going to live in the house. They understand clutter is going to be in the house. It was 10 investors that were interested in it. We put it on the MLS. You sold it the same day, right? We accepted an offer the same day. So the point is we don't have to have a spit, shine, clean property to put out to investors to get the gauge. That's what the 10 days is for. The 10 days is for your gauge to say, hey, we got something hot, or we need to decide on the exit strategy. And the exit strategy is a combination of what's the highest and best we can get out of the property, and the time. Those are the equation. How long will it take us to flip? How long would it take us to wholesale? How much money we make in the flip? How much money we make in the wholesale? You do the equation, you decide one or the other. If you look at the one bought, what's the property? Luther. We made a decision. We had an equation. We said we can fix this, put it on the MLS, or we can wholesale it, and I think we made 13 on the wholesale. Mm-hmm. So the idea was, We could probably get, 25 if we flip it maybe? But what type of work?
We fixed it.
Yeah. What kind of work went into that? We maybe even got 30, but what type of work would have went into that? It's not worth it. So we take the equation, we go the wholesale route. But buying the properties gives us the option to do whatever we want to do. We can do whatever we want to do with it, but also buying the properties puts us at greater risk. The reason why wholesaling is so great is because you don't have to risk the money, except for the small earnest money. Now we're taking on greater risk, hoping to get greater reward. So let's come up with a system to where we mitigate our risk, just like any insurance company, any other company. You mitigate your risk with system and processes. Period. So put the processes in place so that when it comes down to the day before closing, we're not scrambling to see if we have pictures or we have walkthrough. It should be mandatory that we walk through a property prior to closing. Just like if I bought a property on MLS. If today was closing day, the buyers would have either went yesterday or today. Why? They want to make sure that they're buying what they saw when they went there. And I want to make sure I'm buying what I saw when I went there. We can go there now, my man, pull up the whole kitchen floor. Not saying it's likely, but why not have the checks and balances just to mitigate the amount of risk we have? That's how we have a successful company. That's how we make sure everybody keep their job. And that's how we keep the money coming in, by mitigating risk. If we can mitigate risk with systems and processes, then we can flow more. Then I'll feel more comfortable borrowing more money from more people. But what makes me uncomfortable about borrowing money from people is that we don't have the system and processes in place, and I don't want to be responsible for somebody else's money at this point. See? Understood? So that's why it's important to have processes in place and to follow it to a T. If we do that, then we're well on machine. We're V8 diesel. Anybody got anything else? Let's go crush it. Ready, break.
We built for ourselves to sell too, brand new. So we know what the numbers where you need to be at to make a profit, right? You know, I think that's important. And then obviously it's gonna be cheaper for you if you can do two projects side by side, because you're not having to, it's one, the tradesmen just go from door to door. And then also it's easier for the management to just manage two properties side by side.
Right.
I would find out what they're planning on selling across the street.
I already know that.
Oh, you do know the prices? What do they plan on selling for?
From I think from 150 to
What?
165, something like that.
Yeah, it's Way Journey. Way Journey.
Yeah, wait there.
150? Oh my God. No, I get it, but they're just gonna build, like we're gonna go to some projects today.
They want to build 17.
And that little thing right there?
17 houses.
They probably can if they subdivide, because you.
It's already subdivided. They got the boxes already there.
They already got the stub outs out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 17. Is that right? 17?
Yeah.
We'll work it out for you.
Yeah.
Because
We'll get it done.
that'll give you your target price, right? So that gives you your target price, then you can back into your number, because you want a profitability, right? You want to say, here's what I have to make.
Right.
And then based upon that number, then we say, here goes plans and finishes that will get you in that.
Do you know what the square footage is gonna be on their houses?
I think attended
From 1,400 to like,
to 1,600.
a little bit, like 17.
17 close to 1,800. The 1,800 ones are gonna be 2-story.
Yeah, I think all of them are 2-story.
They have to be, yeah. If you wanna buy lots, I don't buy anything on the MLS.
Okay.
Number one. And two, I have some software that I use that cost me $18,000 for the year, that I can literally go type in, I want RS9 or, right? And then vacant lot, and then put the zip code, and it pops up all the vacant lots. And then I send mail piece straight to them. I send out 200 mail pieces. I may get 10 people respond, may buy 3 lots. And they're all off market, because typically how most people get their lots, they inherit them, they do that. And the ones that work best is the ones who are out of state, right? Because they have no interest in this lot. So the tax value may be 20, but it'll sell to me for 8, 9, 10, right? Because Because one thing we don't want to spend a lot of money on is the lots. But we're wholesalers. I got a whole team of dogs out there that will go wolf down for something. You know what I mean? So the idea is to reduce, when we're building houses, we want to spend the least amount of money on the lot. So we want to get the lots that people don't want. Yeah. And a lot of times we just drive past. I mean, like 27103 off of Inca and all that stuff like that, there's a row of lots next to houses that you think the neighbor may own. They don't own them. It's just owned by somebody who lives in California that inherited it 6 years ago.
Yeah, I was told a house down there.
There was never houses on it.
Okay.
Yeah. But that software is called Land Vision. You can look into it, but it's pretty expensive, but it's detailed. It's made for developers. Because once you know the county code, like if you want to build a duplex, and you know the city's duplex code, you can just put in the land that will hold a duplex, and it'll pop up every one that's available, off market, just vacant pieces of land. But it's 18 grand a year, but it's worth it to me because you overspend 2 lots, and like you said, you got to pay for connections for this and this, so your lot cost ends up being, I want to take that 50% discount and put it back into the development of the lot. Building is not hard. I don't know why it took me so long to get to building, but I'm glad I got him on my team because now I can control, because we have subs. We all have subs. We all have cheap guys that do sheetrock. We all have cheap electricians, cheap plumbers. So now we just need somebody to manage the project. Right. We bring in our own subs. So let's do this. Find a plan that you like. I use houseplans.com. That's where I picked up my personal house, right? And then what happens is if you go to houseplan.com, you pick what you want. You can put in 3-bedroom, 2-bath, garage, no garage, and it's gonna spit out a bunch of plans. You select one, spend $600, buy the plan, spend an extra $200 getting the unlimited license, and you can start building those or pick 2 or 3. But once you have the plans, is when we can start going to 84 lumber. We can go to these guys, we can call it framers, and we start getting you a base price. We get you a base price on getting the foundation set up, what kind of plumbing, how many fixtures you're gonna have, and then we get the hard costs. Those are things you can't get around. And then you go from there. But without a plan, it's hard to say a budget. Most builders are gonna come in and say, it's gonna charge you $100 a square foot. 150, no, we don't do that. Okay. Because then when you start chipping away, because when I'm building my house, I decided that, the lumber was
50 something. With the whole package?
The whole package was 50 something. And then they say, all right, here goes your window options. Good, best, better. Or, good, better, best. Right. And I said, well, give me the best. And then you start to change what you want depending on where you want to be at. So I knew for me to have all my wood, all my windows and framed up, $75,000. 40 under roof is 4,200, I don't remember what it is.
Yeah, 47.
4,700 square feet under roof. I knew that 75,000, I was gonna be on the roof. Now for the plumbing and everything else, I knew that I was gonna be somewhere around 90,000, roughed in, dried, windows and everything. Then we start putting the roof on, then we start running the rough electricity and all that stuff. That's how I like to do the jobs. Because those guys are locked in. The framer, you just give him he just goes by square footage. Yeah. 84 lumber, I text him the plans, get me back a number in a day. I just like the fact that a bigger company than all of us has already done the research to make the decision to build across the street. That gives me, sentiments. If you look at if you look at Walgreens follows CVS, I think it is. Yeah. So they know the CVS done all the research. And then they just go across the street, right? It just makes sense. They've already decided, somebody in there, remember they got people in their company that just worry about placements and where is a popular place to put houses, and then they buy property. Just follow them. That's why I like about it. I just couldn't take it on at the time. But I need to get some more partners. Yeah, let's move fast.
That's good. That's what I like to hear.
And listen, you guys are welcome in my office anytime, bro. Okay. You don't have to have set up a meeting. Just like if she says I'm here, I'm usually here in the morning until about 1 or 2. Anytime. I love talking real estate, so you can call me anytime, brother. Look who's working. Look who's doing all the work. Look at this pad. Look at this pad. Half of it's driveway. I mean, half of it's a garage. The house only sit on the back half where you see the plumbing start.
Wow. And they putting straps on them. They putting straps on these. They're not even putting the anchor bolts in. It's like a metal strap. They just strap it around. It's like a galvanized strap.
We can do this.
Put retaining walls in the back of them.
That's all you do. How you doing, gentlemen?
Good, how are you? Buddy,
Doing well. Do you know what they're selling these houses for?
They're all rentals.
Oh, there's all rentals?
Yeah, it's a rental community. It'll be similar to these back here. That's a rental community up there.
Is this, did a do this one?
No.
Dang. Rental properties.
Yep.
Ain't that something? Build to rent. That's pretty cool,
Yeah,
man.
we're one of the few, I think, in the area that does the single families
Yeah.
for rent.
You guys overseeing the whole construction and everything like that? You are? How you doing, sir?
I'm all right.
This is pretty nice. I grew up on this road. I was
Really,
just
whereabouts?
literally right down the street.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it's just cool to see this come up and pop up, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Y'all doing a good job.
You go to
heck outta
you go
here
to the
and
end of
it'll be
Peace
pretty.
Haven?
Yes, sir.
Take a left. I just live down there.
Oh, really? A Kinnaman Road area?
No. You pass.
Oh, and Clemens,
All the way to the end.
all the way down like Harper Road and all that area.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
I've been out there for 35 years.
Yeah. So you seen it all grow up down here.
When I moved to Clemens, there was no stoplights. There was one caution light at 158.
Yeah, up there on
There was
Stratford.
Hardee's and Pizza Hut.
Man,
That was it.
it's grown up, hasn't it?
Kmart, none of all that crap down through there. There was a little A-frame restaurant called Pete's. Mm-hmm. But there's a Pete's down there.
Yeah, it's a pizza. Yeah.
But there was a little A-frame called Pete's.
Wow.
That's it.
So are these man? This is all rentals.
All rentals.
That's amazing. Building communities. It makes sense though, because if you control the build, you don't got
You
to.
know, most of our clientele is older folks.
That's true, especially on this side.
We do all the exterior maintenance. We do, all that kind of stuff. I mean, they'll even some of the people we've got, they'll go in there and change the light bulbs if they have to.
And that's mainly why you guys did one level, because of the older folks.
We got a few 2 stories in here.
Yeah.
We're always going to have some families.
Yeah.
But they work out real well. There's a clubhouse and pool.
Yeah.
And all that rap.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool.
Good job, sir.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. You have a good week.
You too, buddy. Have a great day.
That's like that community we just passed up the street. Mm-hmm. The rental community.
They got so much money, they build houses just to rent them.
And they ain't gonna see that money back from me.
They don't have to, because you know what? It's a fund. And what you gotta do is, remember, they control the build. So if a builder, so what happens in the past is that these big companies, they buy houses from me to rent. When they can just find land. You trying to count them up? So it's 100 plus houses in here. What they all in cost? If you just built one, what's the?
They probably only have $45 a square foot in those houses.
$45 a square foot times 100. So $4.5 million to make $150,000 a month. And 4.5 million ain't a lot of money. That's the point. So you're saying a $6 million project, and the reason why they get to make so much money is because they have the contractors. They ain't got to move. The contractor just set up shop. So the reason why it costs less is when I call you to frame my houses, I'm calling you to frame 100 of them.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna say you gotta
go from here to here to here.
Yeah, you're gonna be here for a whole year. You're gonna have a year or 9 months of work, and you go from house to house to house to house to house.
Right.
And you don't move.
They may be paying their framers under $5,000
to put the house up. You gotta look at them as job security and the length of how much work you're gonna have for them.
There you go.
Because contractors want to keep their subs working.
So you're gonna give me a better number if I'm giving you 100 houses.
Yep.
Versus one. I learned that when I was at. I was saying those numbers. I was like, wow. They came out of Texas.
That's where he used to work for him. He used to build 15 houses at a time.
Junior Pond subdivision in Kernersville. That was my first project I worked on.
Do we have a closing today?
Yes.
I know.
So we tried like hell with to get in there yesterday or today.
See, what people don't understand is that when you are the purchaser, when you have the money is what the person wants, and that's their end goal. What happens is when you give somebody a leeway or too many options, they start to use those options, right? But my point is when I used to go into the house and meet with the seller, the first thing I'm gonna do is once they start agreeing and they start giving me multiple yeses, I'm setting the expectation with them on how this is gonna go. Hey, look, thanks for showing me the house today. I'm probably gonna have to see inside the house maybe once, maybe twice before we close. I just wanna, is that gonna be a problem? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be. Well, listen, the best thing for you to do is probably put a lockbox on there. We'll both have the code, you can come and go. Obviously you can, and then it eases their mind. I don't care.
And we've done that.
That's all we've ever done.
Yeah.
We've always had access to the property prior to going there. So you have to set the expectation with the seller. Here, you can take a key. Let's just put a key in the box as well. I'm gonna need to go here two or three more times. Hey, the reason is when I buy this house from you, the day I close, I wanna make sure I got material on the job site. I wanna make sure we're ready to rock and roll. And it's not like we went from a $70,000 to offering them $30,000.
Well, we got it under contract originally for 73, and then we brought the price down to 64.
Because of what?
Because of the condition.
Yeah, so that has nothing to do with us. It wasn't like it was we wanted a lower price. What happened was the house was in bad shape. Worse than we thought. A 73 wouldn't work. I think I may be buying a commercial building on next month. Got a good deal on it. It's completely renovated. Just got a tenant in it right now. So you know what a granite place is? You know the building where the granite buy that building.
Oh, wow. See, that's a great location.
Yeah, it is.
Cool. Ready, break. I invented that script.
Yeah, but
I hate to call you out of the blue. All the are on purpose.
Yeah, but I think it's good. I think because most don't answering their call. I think they should drop a voicemail. I mean, if you can set it up, I think that's a good idea. But that would be good, Max, if they can drop a voicemail, especially with so many calls that most people don't answer.
I think it's a bad idea for us.
Are you kidding me, right?
Let me just show you something.
Okay.
Right down the street, these bedrooms, these apartments.
Okay.
1557, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath.
Manhattan,
Okay.
Florida.
That's Peace Haven, Winston-Salem. No, Francis, what I'm saying is, why don't you look at? That's right here.
That's not bad.
That's right here. Okay?
Right next door.
Right next
door. Rental community?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
Listen to me.
We're building that.
Watch, let me show you something. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,500 square feet, $1,500. All right, 100 houses. I got 100 houses times 1,500 a month. I kept it basic.
Right. So that's 150,000.
150,000 per a month.
So that means,
No way. Let's just watch this. They paid $373 for the land. 500 to prep the sites. Let's add another 300,000 on top of it. They're at let's just say 700,000. Sorry, 700K. And then each build, let's give them $60,000 each build. And the reason why you can do that is when I call you as a roofer and say, hey, can you do my roof? but I need you to do 100 roofs.
Yeah.
And the same thing.
discount.
So you're moving. So I call the guy that puts up the studs. I said, I need you to do 100 houses. All the graders, all the contractors. So let's just say, if we know we can do it for 60, 65, let's just give them 60. Right? So you got the land.
So another 600,000.
No. Land at 700,000, and then you go 100 houses times 60,000. That's 6 million.
Yeah.
6 million.
Yeah.
Okay, 6 million.
Right? So houses,
Yeah, it's 100 houses.
Yes.
6 million. So they got, let's just say they got 6.7, let's just say they got 7 million in the project.
Right.
Let's find out cap rate real quick.
So it's 150 a month.
Want to show you the
That's
cap?
1.8 a year.
Watch this. Property value, let's just go with, actually let's leave that omit. Annual gross income. So you got 150 times 12, it's 1.8 million. Operating expenses, there's really none because it's not like an apartment, but let's just say 40%, because apartments you say 50%.
For operating?
You got,
40%?
So they got a new loan and what?
You mean 4%?
No. Operating expenses, you know, because like when you buy an apartment community, you take typically.
Oh, the rental?
Yeah, you take.
40%. That's
Standard is
high.
50%.
Really?
Of the overall income, you reduce it by 50%.
Well, you're talking about, okay, even taxes, everything, including
Yeah.
insurance.
All of that stuff,
okay.
correct, yeah.
Sure.
Vacancy rate, let's put them at maybe 6%. Property value, let's just say they put 7 million. That's a 12% cap rate.
Right.
Let me tell you something. You know what they can sell it for? If you reverse engineer it, they can sell it at a 6% cap rate. So they got 7 million in the build, they can sell it for 14 million.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. And that's with 50% gross operating expenses.
Which is high.
Which is high.